friends, taking a look at it. We're going to take a look at XRP here. You can see here we got some bullish divergence on the total 3. Okay, this is the total market cap, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. Right, you can see the bullish divergence on the bottom. Does it play out? I don't know. Right, we got a lot of bullish divergence out there on a lot of cryptos. All right, you can see down here. Here's your bullish divergence down here. All right, you can see you got this low and a higher low coming in right here. You got here on this, you got this low and a lower low, right? So you got some bullish divergence playing out. You got your it doesn't work out or not, I don't know, right? We got the weekly RSI. Let's see where it's at. Down at the very bottom. Did we get a run here? Push back up. Does dominance break down? I mean, we've barely done anything here, right? I mean, this thing is just barely set a new all-time high. You had the total market cap run the whole way up. It did, look at that, ran up to, did almost a full extension up here of 1618. That's the total market cap. Ran up, it did its thing. The total 2, barely set a new all-time high. That's all the cryptos excluding Bitcoin. So this includes Ethereum. Look at that, just barely set a new all-time high. Should have ran up here to 1618. And then you got the total 3. It barely set a new all-time high also. This is everything excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. All right, so you got the weekly RSIs. Both of them are down at the bottom. The total is also down at the bottom. Does it do an ABC up here? Do we get our alt season? Does that dominance finally break down or not? Look at the Dow Jones, man. This thing is way up there. If you go out in a monthly, it did a full extension and then some on the Fibonacci. It's up through the 4.236. Look at that, way up here. You got some bearish divergence on it. This high and right down here and a lower high. You got that high and a higher high. So Dow Jones, not looking real great, is it? Then Bitcoin dominance. We're going to take a look at XRP, see if we got any bullish divergence here also. This just has not broke down, man. There's no breakdown. Weekly RSI at the bottom, or monthly. Weekly's at the top, right? This thing just has not broke down yet. All right, we're looking for an alt season, but to get that, we need a breakdown. We need Bitcoin to probably do a correction here. I think it's topped out, but when it broke this resistance over here, you had an alt season. It's broke, or support, I'm sorry, broke that support over here. This thing should tumble down and these alts should take off. Is that going to happen? I don't know. That's what we're looking for. Now we're at a 16 on the fear and greed index. Super low, man. Over here on weeks, if you go over and sign up as a new user, all kinds of bonuses, man. Tons of them. If you deposit $100 and hold it for 3 consecutive days, you get a $100 position airdrop. If you hold 500 for 3 days, you get $400 position airdrop. That's pretty cool. This is for new users, and you got to use the link in the description of the video. Please make a net deposit of $1,000, hold it for 3 consecutive days, $500. So that's pretty awesome. Even going over and signing up and you're using your phone and your email, you get a $10 to $100 coupon. Follow on social media, $15. So they got some pretty cool stuff over there on weeks. And then there's a link for Bitfinex in there. They got some bonuses over there too. And we trade every single day over there. Level 3 membership in the description of the video. That gets you into our Discord. We have 160 some members. We would love to have you. We trade no matter what. We don't stop trading. If, during a bear market, nothing. If you day trade, you trade every day. Just about, unless there's nothing to trade that day. But yeah, please. Like I said, we have a pile of members. We would love to have you. XRP. Let's take a look here. We'll use we got on this chart here. Anything? Don't look like anything on this chart, right? Let's open this up. Let's go to monthly. take a look here. All right, look at this right here. Back here is 2021. Put a fib on this. Yeah, whoops, sorry about that. I know, you have a 1618 in here, right? Up at $3. This thing has run up there. It did a 1618. Does it have another push, a fifth wave in it here? Or was that it? But if we get an alt season here, obviously that's going to help. You want to see XRP hold, $1.97. You want to see that hold. We've had wicks down through here and everything else, but that's back on this previous all-time high back here. You would like to see that hold. Worst case scenario, $1.61 down here. That's back on top of these closing candles. All right, maybe come back and do a retest and bounce. What's our monthly RSI look like? The relative strength index. Bearish. You have this high and a lower high. Yeah, this high and a higher high. So the monthly does not look good. The weekly, just about reset at the bottom here, right? What do we got up here? Oops, sorry about that. Looks like 5 waves down, right? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Does this big wick here that happened count? I don't know, right? In here though, you can count pretty obvious. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got 5 waves coming down here. All right. Now that's the big question. Does this wick come into play? I don't know. I personally have not been using it. It was kind of a black swan event, right? I mean, we look at that, really think that has too much to do with these charts. Now, if it didn't, right, and you were taking a look here, looking for a target for a bottom, if we use this wick here and pull the fib up here, $1.88 possibly, back on $1.97, maybe it holds through here. Does this have any, good areas to it? Yeah, it does, actually. Right through here, you have a major weekly support through here, out on a monthly. Yeah, major support. That's back on top of this high, around $1.97, $1.88, right in that range, right? Maybe a bounce down that holds and it goes. How's the daily looking? Let's take a look here. Yeah, man, trust me, guys. If you trade, you'll love our Discord. You'll love it, man. We got some great people in there. A lot of great traders. Some really good people in there. I love going in there and trading with them guys every day. Not financial advice, but $15, you can make that easily, and then some in one trade, right? Not hard to make $15. So. If it interests you, come over and join us. We would love to have you over there, okay? Now, we're going to be looking for this thing to hold right in this zone, right? $1.88 to $1.97. Right in this area. See if it can hold here and then bounce up. And that daily RSI, let's take a look. And we got some bullish divergence going on here so far, right? You got this low, higher low, higher low, higher low. You got a lot of that going on with the cryptos right now. Does that mean an alt season's coming? You got this low, lower low, and a lower low here up here, but you got bullish divergence going on down there. 12 hour. Where's it at? Right down at the bottom. About reset. Same thing. Bullish divergence. Got this low and a higher low coming in. Maybe the bottom's right here. This thing's starting to possibly push. Anywhere down through here, this thing could turn back up. KASPA pulled back to the box I had for it absolutely perfectly. The big tell-all would be a break, of a trend line down through here, right? You can have one down through here, right here. You know, if it breaks that, where's that at? Right, about 235. You know, you get a break at 235, 236, stuff's going to start looking real good, right? And possibly a run back up. You know, this thing, you could get another push definitely out of this. This thing could run back, it could, you know, start firing back up here, and especially if an alt season's coming here. You know, does this mark, or does it pull down here and that marks a bottom and our alt season starts? All this bullish divergence going on. A lot of bullish divergence out there. You know, and does this thing get a run back up to the upside here? You know, that's the big question out there we're looking for, and hoping it happens. You know, if it does run back up, where could it go? Well, you know, if it pulls down here, you know, do you get just a normal? Do you get a normal retracement out of it, or do you get a run higher? You know, the 618 is up here at $3. What's that? Is that our? Yeah, that's our 1618. You know, so you get a run back up to the $3, and you get a big A, B, C to the downside. That's very, very possible, right? Something like this. Very possible. Let me grab my thing over here. Sorry about that, guys. Right here. You know, A pulls down to the box down here. You get a B back up to $3, and then a C down. You know, C leg to the downside. Very, very possible. Or does it break through and head up to, you know, the 475 area? You know, we'll see. We'll see what happens here. I'm going to leave this on here. So when we come back next time, we check it out and see what happens. But go sign up for that level 3, guys. Check out Weeks and Bitfinex. I would appreciate it so very, very much. And let's go, man. Let's get this alt season rolling and get some money made. The Fear and Greed Index is super low. People are selling out there, dumping. You know, B wave starts back up. People are going to start getting excited again, buying back in. You know, you get rid of your stuff and see like down, or it runs up through here. You know, let's see what happens, right? Got to hold down here though. This has to hold down here. You don't want to see a break of what, $1.88. You know, you don't want to see much lower than that and start getting worried. $1.61. It's probably the line in the sand, really. You know, and just wick down through there, that black swan, but want to see it hold down here, you know, right around that $1.88 to what, about $1.90. Where was this bottom? Zoom in on it a little bit, right? Let's see that hold. I'm going to put a price label down here. All right, you don't want to see it take out. You don't want to see it go much lower than that. $1.88. I'd like to see a bottom there and this thing head back up. All right, thank you so much, guys. Please hit that like and subscribe. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it very much.